I don't know about you. When I think about gardening, it's a lot about digging the soil with your hands, a shovel, whatever. Oftentimes we turn beds over entirely. Well, I'm here to tell you that's actually not the best way to do things. I've done some research and really took time to learn and understand. And I'm going to explain to you why it's best not to dig your beds out or to dig into the soil. Hello and welcome to Sproutlogic Gardening. My name's Mike.
And my name's Nora.
And today we talk to you about why you shouldn't be digging your beds out. Now I know you hear this and you go like, I don't understand. What do you mean I shouldn't dig my beds out? What if I have to plant a new plant into the ground? Well, I'm here to tell you that plenty of research has been done to show that when we dig out our beds and we disturb the soil, we're actually hurting it. In fact, we're killing microorganisms, things like worms and beetles and stuff that's really beneficial to the soil by exposing them to the air and exposing them to the surface. Instead, we're going to cover a totally different method today. So there's two things I want to share with you. The first is that we're actually going to talk about building a new bed. So what does that actually look like? To put it very simply, it's the normal process you probably follow, right? And looking at this bed, this is in ground, you'd simply lay down cardboard at the bottom, you'd layer on your soil, compost, and mulch. Real simple. But where things get a little more challenging, it's when you have to actually either add a plant or if you need to add nutrition to the soil for the season. So I think we should probably dive into doing that. So for this bed in particular, basically I did have a light mulching on top, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. I moved it over some pots so I can replace it. Mulching will be absolutely important, but we need to add compost or something to the soil. We got to give it nutrition. I have 2 roses in here and a spin top flower, so I want to make sure that we take care of it for the season. So I'm going to show you what to do when it comes to adding that nutrition. Instead of digging it out or adding things into the soil, we're actually going to go ahead and put things right on top. So what we got here is a homemade compost mixed with another compost from cow manure. Now, Nora, didn't you help me with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this in. I'm just quickly mixing up. You want to help me mix it up?
Yeah,
Let's mix it up a little bit.
but my dad said this is cow poop, and I said
There is cow poop in this. You are absolutely correct. It's disgusting. All right. So we kind of mixed it up. It's nice and loose and ready to go. Now I'm going to show you what to do, Nora, and you're going to help me here. We're going to take scoops of it and we're going to spread it out around the plants, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that.
I'm going to do this one.
And what we're doing here, folks, is we're adding this nutrition to the top of the soil. Now it will get down into the soil. Those microbes and other things that live in here will basically start taking it down into the soil and providing it to the plants. And this is exactly what they need. You know, when we talk about roses and stuff, these are very hungry plants. They require a lot of nutrition. So when I did make this mix, I added some extra slow release fertilizer. We got 1 more scoop roughly left. We made sure it's around the plants. The next part I'm going to show you is how we're going to mulch this very quickly. Now let's talk about mulching. So I told you I put some of that mulch into these little containers here. I'm simply just going to spread it out, and I'm trying to hug around the plants. Now this is an interesting mix of mulch and actually leaves I had from last year, which is good. That helps retain the moisture and make sure the soil doesn't dry out really fast, and actually helps protect some of those organisms from being overheated or exposed to the elements. So we'll do a light little mulching, basically around the plants and around the bed. We also have to be careful, by the way, when you mulch and you add compost and stuff. We don't want to get too far up on the plant. That could actually cause some issues with mold or other things that we just definitely don't want to run into. One part I forgot to add when it comes to mulching, we want to make sure we maybe put a little bit of extra stuff on top just to hold the leaves and stuff in place. It's this simple. These are wood chips and basically chunks of wood to hold it down, because otherwise a lot of these leaves and stuff will just blow away, and then it's kind of a, we'll say, a wasted effort. So I'll give you one final shot of the bed and what it looks like after I added that mulch on top. So there are a couple scenarios I need to cover with you really quickly as far as when you need to dig. You do need to dig a little bit when you add plants. That's true. There's no way to add them on unless you simply were to stack it on and make a mound. I don't necessarily recommend that. That could be problematic really quickly. As you water, the soil breaks off and goes on to the other plants, and that could be a problem. So a little bit of digging is okay when placing something new. Also, really compacted soil, yeah, you're going to have to dig it out and obviously mix it up. So there are certain scenarios you got to keep in mind that will absolutely require a little bit of digging up. It's just try to minimize as much as possible. Now, a lot of times with most scenarios, though, we shouldn't need to as gardeners, and that's kind of the point of this video, right? Let's let nature do its thing. Soil is the most important thing when it comes to our garden, and that's what really helps plants thrive. And if we can do the most we can to make sure it maintains its biological diversity and it's healthy, we win either way, and those plants will be all taken care of. And I hope this video helps. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This really helps my channel, and we'll see you on the next video. Take it easy.